Welcome back here to Bethel University Men's Basketball Media Day. I'm Paul Condry, the longtime voice of the Pilots. Great to be with you here today. As always, privileged to be able to put the headset on and be inside the Gates Gymnasium high above Mike Lightfoot Court, where so many great games have happened and so many great experiences for yours truly have really kind of kept me energized over the course of 20-plus years. I've been privileged to be here. And Steve Drabyn, who I've known since a little guy, I'm so excited about the opportunity to be back and be able to spend time with the Pilots this year. And Steve, I know that for you, as you continue to grow and mature as a coach, I know that each and every year is a new experience. And this year is really going to be like one of those experiences with a lot of new faces and certainly an exciting time for you moving forward. Let's just talk about bringing in so many new guys and a wide variety of talents and skill sets, from local guys to guys across the pond. You guys went all over the place to get these guys.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. You know, I talked with several coaches in our league, and you know, one coach mentioned it's like we're global U, and he's man, you got contacts from everywhere, and I'm thinking, really, we've only had one player that has come from overseas, Philip Segota. Every other guy has been in the States.
Right.
So I don't really have many international contacts. We just happened to get them from schools here in the States. But I'm excited. It's a new year, fresh year, some new faces, some returning guys that we're excited about, stepping into bigger roles, leadership roles. And the new guys coming in, I think, have meshed well with our staff, with this school, Bethel, and with our returning guys. So we're excited. Think we're have had a good summer. We had a 3-week mini camp where we played one game, had 10 practices, and guys were able to bond and did a lot of stuff off the floor. And so we're ready to roll.
Two really talented players who have played a lot of minutes return to wear the Bethel uniform this year. And Nathan Ertz, who's a 1,000-point scorer and a 500 career rebound guy, one of those top 50 players in Bethel history. You can look at that historically, and you can make the point that he's in that picture. But also Brandon Hunt, one of the most talented young players in all of NEI basketball. Two good guys to really start building this year's roster.
There's no doubt. I remember one game last year. I think it was Lincoln at home. And those two guys, I can't remember their stat line, but, I think one guy had 22 and 10. The other guy had, 23 and 8. And Coach P the next morning said, hey, those guys have 3 years left and 2 years left after this year. And so you love having guys like that you can build around, that are going to be around for a few years. And they're just, Nathan Ertz is just as consistent as can be. He does a lot of things on the floor that aren't on the stat page. He's calm, cool, collected. He gets, details right. He just finds ways to get things done. You have Brandon Hunt, who is a great talent athletically, really good shot blocker with both hands. He's just gotten better and better as he's been here. So we're looking for those two guys to take steps forward, both as players and as leaders on this team, and to build around.
You've got a lot of guys, what I like to use the terminology, program players, kids who have dedicated their lives for the benefit of the program, whether they're going to play 40 minutes or if they're going to play 2 minutes. And you got to love kids who are willing to be like that. Romeo Parko's the guy. Life Granville, Foster Medford, Mickey Stoyanov, Trent Edwards, Philip Segota. And a lot of these guys have had injuries. They've always had setbacks, but they continue to fight. And really, this is what Bethel men's basketball has been about through the many, many years, is having that fight, that tenacity, the wherewithal to continue to do what's best for the Bethel University men's basketball program. So can you speak to those program kids that play pivotal roles each and every day?
There's no doubt every player brings value. Every player, has unique skill sets that they can bring to the table. You talked about the Romeo Parkers, Life Granvilles, Trent Edwards, guys that are great team guys.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to build our program around, is just having guys that they don't care who get the credit. They're going to try to put forth their best effort to be the best versions of themselves. If their number's called upon, they're going to be ready. If it's not, they're going to be great team guys on the bench, great practice players. And we've had a good share of those guys. Mickey Stoyanov, Philip Segota, guys that their effort is consistent. their ability to be great teammates, consistent, and those guys are program guys that are going to help move you forward in the right direction.
You brought in a boatload of new guys, guys that we've had a chance to meet today, but one specifically, and I'm going to single him out because a lot like watching you grow up and doing your games in high school. I had a chance to watch Drew Lutz play in high school, did his games in high school. Talented kid. Remember, he was skinny as a rail when he first put on a Penn uniform, and now looking at him, how he's filled out. He averaged 10 points last year and had over 100 assists for Incarnate Word, a Division I school in San Antonio. So he's a guy. I want to start with him and talk about his skill set. You know that he's got that Indiana basketball mentality that I think is pivotal for you to have success in the Crossroads League.
There's no doubt. You know, one of the many reasons I came back to Indiana, to this school, that I wanted to be here at Bethel was just being back in the great state of Indiana and having guys, recruiting guys like, you know, a Drew Lutz. You know, my college coach, Coach Rick Bird, was fortunate to play for him. He made a comment about recruiting. You want to recruit guys that get the most out of their ability. And he's a guy that does that. You know, he's in the gym constantly. He's a gym rat. He was comes from a great high school basketball program in Penn. Played for a legendary coach, Al Rhodes. Played for Carson Cunningham, another Indiana guy. I know played at Purdue, but so he's been coached. He's well trained, and he's not only from a basketball standpoint, he's going to be a great player for us, but just the intangibles is going to be huge for us. You want your best players to be your best teammates, to be your hardest workers, and he's that. So he's gonna have a lot of guys follow him in that respect and get the most out of their abilities.
It would take us all day to go through all the skill sets of the other young guys that are coming into the program. Some that are going to be with you for a couple more years, maybe one for 1 or 2 years. So can you give us the flyover version on the rest of the roster? But a lot of talent, a lot of athleticism.
Yeah, excited about the other 5 guys coming in besides Drew. Chikara Tanaka. He's had a pretty interesting last 4 years in the States and played on some good teams with some good talent. He has a charisma about him as a person, as a player. Can make an open shot, a really good athlete, really good defender. I'm excited about having him guard some of the best players in our league. Tanguy Tuze, goes by T, brings a great skill set offensively, can shoot it, really good passer. Both those guys, Chikara and T, are very good, unselfish guys that give the ball up. Jordan Okanji from Temple Community College plays really hard, can run the floor. I think, the Bethel fans are going to love how hard he plays and what he brings to the table. Deacon Heath can flat shoot it. He's got a great stroke, can shoot it with range. To have a guy like a Drew Lutz that's so good and crafty at getting in the paint, to have a guy like Deacon that can come in and shoot it like he does. Anytime he shoots it, I think it's going in. And so he's smart, he's tough, he's a college graduate already, he's got 2 years left. And then Al Petulus, played for a really good high school coach in Mark Price, who kind of has that Belmont lineage and knows how to play, played in a similar system in high school that we played. He's smart, he's tough, unselfish, he's a good kid. It's going to be hard to keep a guy like that off the floor with all he brings to the table. So really excited about the group coming in.
Taking a look at the landscape of the Crossroads League. I tell you what, you got to bring your A game. You know this. You've seen it the last few years. But for the young kids, there are new kids on the block. And talking with Brandon Hunt, he's the first person to admit he was surprised on how difficult the league is. And it takes no prisoners, and you got to be mentally, emotionally. I mean, you got to lean on your own wherewithal to be able to get through this thing. It's a gauntlet. It really is. So talk about, for you, on how you've grown to respect the coaches and the gymnasiums and the fans and the best league in America.
We're trying to make everything hard. Our practices, our conditioning, our lifting, because our league is hard, really, really hard. I tell people, you have to have everything to win. You have to have talent, athleticism, skill set, a togetherness, a toughness, a character. You have to have culture. If you're missing one thing, it's hard to win in this league. And you can do all those things well, and still get beat on any given night in this league by any team. And that's, again, another reason why I came here, because it's a challenge. Like, the expectations are high here. And I want that's going to make me better as a coach, our staff better, our team better. Like we found out a couple of years ago, if you can make it through our league and finish, well, it's going to give you a chance to win it all.
Your non-league schedule is almost suicidal. You think about it. You got Holy Cross and IUSB, two of the best teams in the CCAC. IUSB is absolutely loaded. Yeah. Then you got the teams coming from Oregon and Oregon Tech and Bushnell. And then you've got William Penn, a legitimate top 5 team every year. And that's just a smidgen of some of the teams. Yeah. So you guys have got to be good together right out of the gate, Steve.
We'll find out. Then, you didn't mention Southeastern and Florida College.
Yes.
Two teams that had really good years last year. They've got really good talent. It's, strap it up. Let's go. You want to play the best. You want to prepare yourself. I think that non-conference schedule is going to prepare us for the league, which ultimately matters. In NAIA basketball, how you finish in your league is what matters the most. And that non-conference schedule is going to prepare us for our league, which in my opinion is the best in the country. And I'm excited about it. Our players are excited about it. We're working towards, preparing ourselves to be the best we can be in the league. And let's go.
The Hall of Famer from LaPorte, the Hall of Famer from Belmont, Steve Drabyn, the special guest here today on our Bethel University men's basketball media coverage. Don't forget, Bethel men's basketball right here all season long. We're going to Florida with the Pilots. Going to go down and hang out with our longtime friend Donnie Smith, and we're gonna bring you every exciting moment of Bethel basketball right here on Regional Radio Sports. We'll be back with more after this.